Have you had any more fun dreams lately?
I had a stress dream last night about this podcast. About we prepped a couple things. We're going to talk about this, and this,
Yeah.
and then we got on, and we're just about to record, and you're like, "Hey, we're ready for the Charlie Brown thing, the Guatemala thing, and the thing about football." And I'm like, I didn't prepare any of those. I was like, I prepared 3 totally different things. It's definitely a stress dream of you're not ready for the exam, but this is an exam that literally millions and millions of people will see. Millions, Tom. I think that's the stress. I actually had a dream the other night. 2 nights ago, I had a dream where I was holding 2 pythons, two snakes. Let's just say it was very risque. I was holding 2 pythons by the neck, so that's where you hold them, I guess, so they don't bite you. But then I couldn't put them down because then they were just gonna jump up and bite me. And I just remember walking around in my dream holding 2 snakes and crying. That's that was my Saturday night dream. How about you?
I can't tell you how relatable that is, because I walk around with 2 pythons every day, Chip.
Every single day.
And don't worry about it, everybody. It's Sweet Dreams here on the Sunburnt Podcast. We'll be back in 1 second with Chip telling us about the history of Russia. Stay tuned.
Hello, front desk.
Yes, this is Thomas O'Brien in room 308. There's some ants up here in my room.
Yeah, we could send up an exterminator.
Yeah, they keep showing me pictures of when I was a kid and telling me stories about my mom, and I just need them out of here.
We'll call the police for you, sir.
Episode 16 of the Sunburnt Podcast, where we talk about comedy and tropical vacations. Brother, we're blowing up the charts here.
Yeah, we are.
Just put a fish hook in the algorithm, and we're reeling it in.
Yeah, we are. The big catch, baby. The big catch.
We're a whale.
World of podcasting.
We're a podcast whale.
It's just in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, just drifting. With that island of trash. Do you ever want to see? I kind of want to see that island of trash sometime. I'm sure it's horrible, but it's the size of Texas or whatever.
How can that be?
Hey, we've left our mark on the world. If nothing else, as human beings, we've done something.
Dude, having the baby has put so many things in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid, it's at this point, it's 2 to 3 diapers a day.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get in a stadium where there's 20,000 people,
yeah.
all I can think of is for 2 years, everybody in here made 2 to 3 diapers a day.
And in a couple of years, they're also going to be making 2 to 3 diapers a day.
Be back in diapers, making
mm-hmm.
those boom booms in their
mm-hmm.
adult diapers.
Yep.
But all I can think of is just I think there was a Bill Burr bit, you have 12 kids, congratulations, that's 12 more dumps that are going to end up in a river every day. But just the sheer volume of diapers that are just going on in the planet,
mm-hmm.
where do they all go?
I think to heaven. They go to diaper heaven, Thomas.
All diapers go to heaven.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice thought. But just there's a lot of volume. When you get people in mass, there's a lot of volume. We're making enough trash to make something the size of Texas. Would it be my first vacation destination choice? No.
But it'd be your second. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right after Honolulu, Hawaii, where Chip Chantry in 174 days is going to be doing Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
Yep.
Buddy, I am fired up about this. I could just picture myself floating in the warm waters of Waikiki, having a piña colada.
I'm so excited, too, just to get out of that world, because I'm in my basement studio right now as the slowest fire truck is driving past, and all the cars are beeping, trying to get it out of the way right now as I'm trying to enjoy my island of trash, and I'm just being pulled out of the of the world by a fire engine going past. And so I need this more than anything right now. I need to go to Hawaii. We're going this Thanksgiving. I'm doing a new hour at the Blue Note Jazz Club. We want you guys to come, get away from the fire engines. I'm sure they have fire engines in Hawaii. It'd be crazy if they didn't. But they're not right. they're not driving past your house.
That is also an aggressive move too. It's fire engines aren't just meandering around. They've got places to be and people to help, and everybody's get out of my way.
Yeah, it's always about me. It's always about me. I will say this: I am the grumpy, angry guy now. What grinds my gears type thing. But I swear that ambulances have gotten louder and slower. Like it's so loud. My wife and I were walking to my wife was off yesterday. We walked to breakfast to our favorite spot. It was a gorgeous day in Philadelphia. It was amazing.
Can you name it, Chip? What's the favorite spot?
Oh, yeah, it's called Sam's Morning Glory Diner. It's one of our favorite spots to go. It's not our regular. We have a diner that we go at night, the Oregon Diner, which is just the best. But this is a very special place in South Philly. And we walked to it, and it's just this crisp, beautiful June morning. Everything was perfect. And then just the last 3 blocks of us walking to the diner was just a slow-moving ambulance that's just so loud, just basically just going our walking speed. And the guy doesn't seem in a hurry at all, but it's just so loud. It's like, if you're going to be that slow, you don't have to be that loud.
Yeah.
Is there a fire? Is there somewhere you need to get to, sir? You can pick up the pace. I think there has to have been a law enacted in the past couple of years where they're like, ambulances are causing too many accidents. They're going too fast. And it's like, I think we can deal with a couple of ambulance accidents every once in a while to move this along a little bit.
Yeah, they have gotten louder, I think. And do you remember the show Boiling Points? Did you ever see that? It was on MTV.
Oh, it was like was that the yes, it was like candid camera, but like where people were really pushed to the limit, like where there's going to be fist fight. It was fist fight candid camera.
Specifically, they were trying to get individuals to boil over, to reach their boiling point where they just lose it. I think for you, just having a full-on ambulance, just go exactly your speed, the whole length of the walk from your house to someplace.
It's just
I can just imagine. I can see your face after about half a block.
Like, I would need another ambulance. A, because my blood pressure would have just spiked too much, and or it would have. By the way, now there's police coming past, so something fun's happening. No, that is an ambulance. That's an ambulance. So it's literally Boiling Points is happening right now while I'm trying to record a podcast. That's happening. And like, by the way, people are in peril right now, blocks from my apartment.
Yeah.
Like, they are in peril, and I could care less. And I'm just, because I am inconvenienced while I'm trying to make a radio show in my basement.
Yeah, and that also shines the light of one of our biggest fears, dying.
Yep.
But, like, can you imagine just how disappointed you're going to be if on your last breath, while you're passing away, you're like, I just had a heart attack because I got too angry at somebody I didn't know.
Yep. Oh, that I think about that on a daily basis.
The worst part is just realizing it's my fault.
The fake fight that I had in my head just caused me to have a stroke. I can't feel the left side of my body. Yep. I am now in an ambulance, inconveniencing other people. So I'm just perpetuating it. I am just I am emotionally dropping 2 to 3 diapers a day on everyone around me right now.
Your last words are just scream at the ambulance driver. It's a little loud.
Yeah, little. Can you? I think people are looking at us. Probably. Can you bring it down a little bit? Can you bring it down, please? My wife was she was away with her mom for a couple days. They went on a trip last year, and somebody parked their car across the street from my house, and it was just like it turned out to be some kid I found out. And he's a very nice kid. He's probably like 24. And he seemed very nice because I saw him the next day and I actually ended up having words with him. But he's very pleasant and we had very pleasant interaction, even though I didn't sleep the night before because he came into town to like visit friends or whatever. So he just parked his car, and then around 11 p.m. his car alarm went off because car alarms are still a thing in 2025, apparently. It went off at 11 p.m. And at 9 a.m. the next morning when I left to go out to teach a class, it was still going off. It was just like, why would – there's no reason that a car needs to have an alarm for 12 hours. Like, go on for 15 minutes, tops, 5 minutes, and then shut off.
Yeah.
And so nobody on our block slept that night. And everybody just wanted to set the car on fire just to make it go away. And
what do you do? Like, I feel like out of a whole neighborhood not sleeping, somebody would call the cops or something. There's nothing that can be done.
Oh, police were called, but apparently there was nothing that could be done about it, or like they didn't know whose car it was, or I don't know if it was like out of state. I don't know. I forget the exact thing because it was very foggy, and I was just like, whatever. And apparently his battery like melted, the car battery, like just because it was just shooting off for 12 straight hours. And
Dude.
then he's like, and he was a really nice kid, so like it brought
Yeah.
the temperature down because I saw him and he was like very apologetic. He's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know what was happening. He's like, I have to get it towed now because like it's not. He's like, I'm hoping to get it towed today. I was like, you can't leave this car here tonight. Like there's no, or you have to disconnect everything from this car. Like there can be no wires left on this automobile.
Any light vandalism done to the car during the heat of the night?
Shockingly, no. I don't think, if I remember correctly, no. But like there were daydreams. There were daydreams of just everybody just breaking every window in that car, ripping every door off of it.
Dude, in your neighborhood, I figured somebody would have at least whipped a couple of meatballs at it or something.
Yeah, a couple of D batteries, just.
Well, Chip, we got to wash some of this bad juju off.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, because we're going to a good place. We're going to Hawaii this Thanksgiving.
And I got a question.
Oh yeah,
Are you one?
I am. I am one right now. I'm gonna put some of this.
Oh, I
bad
put a
stuff
lot on
me.
here, bud.
Ooh, nice.
Just slathering.
Slathering it all on, man.
Like the little vacation piggies we are, Chip.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Smelling that sun.
all right.
That feels good. I'm ready. I'm ready
All
to
right.
go.
I'm better. We're washing off.
It's totally blocked me from that memory now. I'm feeling good.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, do we just jump into it? Do we need to talk about the newest member of the Hall of Fame?
A real-time Hall of Famer. I was watching this guy happen like in real time.
Yeah. So I'm sure some of you have seen this story. There is a guy, I think he's about 29, 30 years old. His name is Oliver Widger, I think his last name is. He was just a dude. He was a dude in Oregon, which a dude in Oregon, Thomas.
Yeah.
You can relate.
I can relate. I was a dude in Oregon for many years.
Yeah, you were. And he worked, I think, like in an auto parts store, some kind of little corporate job, 9 to 5, that he apparently
Chip.
hated.
A tire store.
A tire store. Speaking of tires, on Netflix now. Check me out. Season 1, episode 4. So he worked at this tire store. He hated his job. He was diagnosed with this pretty rough, very rare disease, this bone disorder that deals with the vertebrae. He has the unfortunately like the possibility to like go paralyzed from the neck down at some point. Like that could happen.
Yeah.
So what is terrible news turned into amazing news, like an amazing opportunity. He said he said that it just put everything in perspective in his life. He's like, I hate what I'm doing. I hate this 9 to 5 thing, the corporate thing, whatever. And now I have this. I was diagnosed with this potentially disastrous disease. I can't just keep living like this. And basically just made an Instagram post or a YouTube video or whatever, and just posted it. It was like, I got to do something else. I hate everything. And then it just like blew up. So he's like, all right, I guess I got to do it. So what this just dude from Oregon did was quit his job. He didn't have any money. He was actually in a little bit of debt. He liquidated his 401k. I'm not saying to do that, people. I'm not saying to do that right now, but maybe I am.
Have you ever liquidated a 401k, Chip?
I had to take some out of it once to get to have a wedding. Let's just say that, which is what an investment of a wedding that really, that comes back to pay. The marriage is great. The wedding itself, big return on the wedding of, like mashed potatoes that you don't eat. But but no, I haven't liquidated anything. It was a very small amount, luckily. But
I've had the privilege of liquidating 4 401ks over the course of my career.
That's 16. Okay,
Yeah,
1601.
It's a lot of Ks. That's a lot of OKs.
A lot of OKs.
But it's just, you work for a while, and then if you're me, you have a big idea, and you go all in. And luckily, it finally paid off. But it stings too, dude. The taxes hit hard when you have you're to the point where I need to liquidate this to do this thing I want to do. The last thing I want to do is pay a bunch of penalties as well. Yeah. But if you're me, you do it. I've done it 4 times. in your defense, that trampoline park for the elderly was a great idea. It was a great business model. It's low impact on the joints for what for the amount of velocity you're getting as a senior. Yeah. And to the impact on the joints, it's so low, dude. It is so low. But apparently $55 a month for, a monthly membership didn't really work.
No. No, not at all. And but that's just the times, Thomas. You hit it at the wrong time.
I also had a no children policy, which turned out to be detrimental to the trampoline park.
Yeah. You keep the kids out. Like you just an adults only trampoline park.
A seniors only trampoline park.
Seniors only, 65 plus.
I wasn't allowed in my own business.
No, and I think that's why people were skimming off the top. You weren't allowed in the facility.
They were skimming off the top. They were skimming off the bottom. It was the worst 401k liquidation in history, Chip.
I think it was. But this one might be the best. This guy, Oliver, he's get this diagnosis, but he's like, it puts my whole world in perspective. So he liquidates his 401k. He buys a boat, a sailboat. Like this is a child's dream. Like you talk to a 4-year-old, be like, what would you want to do with your life? He's like, I want to buy a sailboat. Like that's what this dude did. Is he a professional trained sailor? No, he does not know how to sail a boat at all. He's got literally no experience, and he's like, I'm gonna buy a sailboat. He, over the course of I think a year, apparently like over YouTube and a couple other places, learns to sail.
YouTube University.
He learns to sail a sailboat, and then he's like, here's my life goal. I'm gonna take my rescue cat, Phoenix. His cat's name's Phoenix, and me and Phoenix, we are gonna get on this sailboat of mine, and we're going to sail from Oregon in the United States to Hawaii, also technically in the United States, but I think it's like 2,400 miles. It's over 2,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean that he is like, I'm just going to sail, and I'm just going to do it. So he gets his diagnosis, quits his job, liquidates the 401k, buys a sailboat, sails. He says he wants to sail around the world, sets sail to Hawaii. Does he make it? Yes, he does. So first of all, he should be dead. Like, I mean, let's just say that. Like, and this is just the coolest story. The guy is like so inspirational. The more I watched, the more I got inspired. The more, because at first you're just kind of like gawking, like, oh, that guy, and then it becomes kind of silly, and then you're like, oh well, this guy is an inspiration. And he just like, it took him 24 days, so it's just over 3 weeks, out in the middle of the ocean. Not exactly knowing what he's doing. Like, he seemed pretty competent, but like went through some trials and tribulations, a whole bunch of seasickness. That would throw me. Like, I went whale watching in Maine this summer for like 3 hours, and I was a little queasy. So, and he just goes out there, just him and his cat out in the middle of the ocean, 24 days, ends up in Hawaii, and I think gets about 2 million Instagram followers on the journey because he's like posting videos as he goes. So he does have links to whatever, he can get on, but safely makes it to Hawaii. And now he's just chilling in Hawaii with like all of these new followers. And like basically like the governor of Hawaii was there to give him a lei. And that's the necklace, not like
there was like a big welcome party there.
There was a huge welcome party. Yeah.
At the Honolulu Bay, right?
Yeah. He was on CNN. Literally, Anderson Cooper was interviewing him in the middle of his trip. He's like talking to him as he's sailing, and the dude just could have gotten this diagnosis and just been like, well, man, now I really have to save. I need health insurance. I do this and then just work for the next maybe couple of decades or whatever, and then just like maybe feel worse and worse pain or whatever. He's like, no, I have to make memories. And I think that's like a big thing. He's like, I don't know if he said these words, but like he wanted to make memories. He wanted to be like, he's also like, I think that the whole thing is kind of crap. And like the whole work until you're 65, 70, retire for 2 years and then drop dead. Like just the rat race, because he's like, I think he was basically saying that like, if I worked at this job, I'm not going to be rich. I'm going to just keep making ends meet and then retire as an old man. And then it's just over. And so it's like, that's kind of like you and I could have done the same thing. I was a teacher. I didn't really like, I liked it, but like I was burnt out with it. And, again, I didn't sail across the Pacific Ocean, but like I pulled the ripcord and I was like, no, I'm going to do comedy. I'm going to write comedy. I'm going to travel doing stand up. And, and you and I are now doing this thing. You did the same thing. And like, you had a good job and you're just like, no, I got to do this comedy thing. You've been writing, you have an Emmy award, which this dude doesn't have. This dude did not win an Emmy for sailing across the ocean. And then we're doing this thing where we're going to Hawaii this Thanksgiving, and it's like, again, we're not sailing there. I'm not sailing solo with my cat, so I'm not trying to put myself in the same category as him. But it's like live your dream, man. Especially now, you just see how just the state of the world today is just chaos. And there's no guarantees of anything. AI is coming to take your job. This company's buying out this thing. Everybody's losing health. Whatever it is. And it's like some people think that that's the time to get more like hoard your money or like really be conservative about it and like worry more. And like maybe now's the time to be like, I'm getting out of the system and just like, again, I'm not saying go off the grid necessarily, but like live your life. And by the way, now, and again, it's not going to work out for everybody sailing across the ocean. If everybody tried to sail across the ocean, the island of garbage, I think, would be dwarfed by the island of just corpses and sailboats.
I can imagine you in your yacht that you've rebuilt, fully maintained, just in I don't even know what to call it, bumper to bumper traffic. Going to Hawaii on the ocean.
Oh, could you imagine that? Just every
yacht traffic.
Oh my God, yacht traffic would be the worst. It would because it's just all the worst people.
Yeah.
Not knowing exactly how to control their vessel. There's a scene in Jaws when they all try to go out and all the fishermen try to go out and they're all chumming and it's just chaos and they're bumping into each other and just screaming at each other. Like that's what it'd be for 2,000 miles.
Dude, I'm glad you brought up Jaws. I've been thinking about this. It's your favorite movie of all time. We're on record saying that.
Yeah, by far.
What? I think we need to watch it together.
Oh, I'm in.
But like, what would be the grandest possible environment for us to watch Jaws in?
Have you seen? They do screenings of like almost like a drive-in theater, but it's like on a beach or in a bay where people at night, where people are literally in like inner tubes on the ocean or in a bay in a body of water watching Jaws. Like that just sounds wild.
Dude, I'm in. Maybe we figure that out this summer. Maybe we figure out one of those things. We hit it up, or maybe somebody has, an amazing like pool theater or something. Like if you guys have any idea, what's the most incredible place we could watch the movie Jaws together as friends for the first time? If you have any ideas, drop them down. We would love to hear it.
We want to go to Martha's Vineyard. If you have a place on Martha's Vineyard where they shot Jaws, invite us up. We'll be there. We'll go.
Yeah, if you live in MV and want to have an MVP, stop by and Chip Chantry. Jaws' #1 fan. Hit us up.
Yeah, do it. Speaking of MVP, I think it is now time to induct Oliver Widger into the Burnt Ones Hall of Fame. I mean, this dude he's right up there with Jimmy Buffett. He's right up there with Brandon Grimshaw, the guy who bought his own island.
Absolutely.
And now this dude he didn't know how to sail, and he taught himself. And he's like, I'm just going to do this thing. Okay, by the way, I couldn't do this. Like, we are doing a version of this, Thomas, but just physically what he did, like get in a small sailboat and sail across the ocean. Here's what I would do. If I would not be able to stomach what Oliver did. That's why I give him all the credit in the world. I would make it about a day. I'd contact my friends back home to get a boat or just somewhere to get me out there. I would grab my cat, and then I would fake my own death, and I would like overturn the boat but let it float so people see that it's there, right? And then have my buddies take me back to the mainland, and then I would secretly fly to Hawaii. And then a week after the memorial service for me, I would appear atop a volcano in Hawaii with my cat and say that I have been resurrected. Like his cat's name is Phoenix, like the phoenix rising from the ash of the volcano.
The volcanic ash.
I'm back now. And that's what I would do, just so I wouldn't have to spend 3+ weeks on a tiny sailboat alone in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
I think what's so inspiring about him, like, there's a lot of reasons to be inspired by this guy, and he is definitely a Hall of Famer. He's right up there with those three, no doubt about it, for the circumstances, everything he did. But, like, I think the hardest thing is finding the passion for some people. You know, it's like you could do those things if it was your passion, but your passion happens to lie elsewhere. It's in comedy. You take on your passion 1 hour at a time, year after year. You build it up. And then you go out and tour with it. And I think for a lot of people, that would be harder to stomach than being in a boat for 3 weeks.
Well, that's what he said when he was interviewed. He was saying that, like, deciding to do it was the most difficult thing. He's like, I've done all these things that are impossible.
Yeah.
And which is really crazy too, because, like, we're trying to do these, like, when you first said, it's like, all right, we're going to go to Hawaii. You're going to do these shows, at this big club, whatever, like out in Hawaii. It's like, we can't do that. And it's like, but it's like, no, look, we're taking the steps and we can make the impossible possible. We're doing this thing. We're making a living doing this. And that is just taking that leap, I think, is the hardest part. And then the rest just becomes, all right, well, this is what my job is now, is to sail across the ocean, is to do comedy, is to whatever it might be. And I think that now's the time to do it, I
mean, it's always the time to do it. And for some people, it's not. It's like, some people, it's like, oh, you do have a good situation. Like, maybe AI is coming for your job in a couple of years. You want to juice out the last couple of earnings years and whatever you're doing. But yeah, it's a time people are feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty about the future. And one kind of exciting way to look at that is like, okay, well, if the path I've been on doesn't look like it's going to pan out anymore, if I could do anything, if I could accomplish any goal or dream and find myself in a different place a year from now than where I am, what would that be? And I think it is so hard sometimes to find the answer that you're excited about. But that wasn't his problem. He did it. It's kind of a wild idea. Like, I'm going to learn to sail. I have no money. I'm going to buy a boat, and then I'm going to travel solo with my cat across the water to I believe it's the most remote island on the planet. I think it's like the furthest piece of land apart from like one of the main continents in the world. And he sailed there. And it was, I mean, I heard about this thing natively. It just showed up in my feed. And I saw videos of this guy. I mean, the first one was kind of like, hey, I'm doing this thing. It was exciting. It was inspirational. The next one I saw, he was having a problem, man. He was trying to fix
a rudder was broken, I think.
I don't know. I don't know enough about ships, and like it didn't really explain it, but it was just like there's water coming in. He's cranking a wrench and then trying to seal a piece, and it's pretty stressful. This guy's put himself in kind of a legitimate life or death situation. It seems like people were watching him pretty close, and I don't know how far away the Coast Guard was.
He's in contact with people.
Yeah, but like when you're in the middle of the ocean, like a helicopter is a really long way away.
It is.
It's like even from Los Angeles, I think that's a 5-hour flight to Hawaii. So if you're 2.5 hours away by plane, I don't know how it works if they have helicopters or boats stationed all over the place, but
that can go that length, that distance.
It can go wrong. And in the face of that, he took it on. So he had some adversity. He had the feel-good story. He had a feeling that a lot of people are having right now. And it's just like, what am I doing with my short time on this planet? And instead of just like easing into that bath like an old man and just like slowly letting the water cover you until you give up. I used to have that feeling all the time with the late nights on TV shows. It's like you'd have a date or you have something fun you want to do after work. And it's just like I should be able to get to this concert by 9:00 or whatever. And then just the weight of the day and the demands, what you have to get done, slowly chip away at you. And you just have to kind of like at 8:30, you're like, I'm not going to make it. I just have to fully give into this thing and just understand that my evening's over.
Right. Yeah.
And it kills you a little bit on a nightly basis. But at a certain point, I think that happens to all of it. You have enough of those moments that you're underwater, and that's just your whole life is being underwater. You're in this routine you don't like. You're not getting the benefits you hope you would out of it. And yeah, he just had enough, man. He had enough, and then he did this weird thing. Nobody told him to. There was nothing he fell into where he had to do this. It was like he set a goal. He learned a hard skill.
Mm-hmm.
He took on a dangerous challenge.
Yeah, very.
And people are floored by it. So I just want to say, like, Oliver, I know you're in Hawaii for a while, you're fixing up your ship, you're going to go somewhere else. But if you're still there on Thanksgiving, if you are there in 174 days in the islands making preparations for your next move, we got free tickets for you.
Yeah, we do.
Free tickets
for you
and a friend, for you and your cat. I don't know if cats are allowed.
Yeah, maybe not.
But yeah, probably bad for allergies.
Yeah,
let's take that. But for you and a human friend, free tickets for you. Just let us know.
Hall of Famer right there. Congratulations, Oliver.
Yeah.
Burnt one, Hall of Fame, right there.
There was also one moment he described, like, he was just like, there was moments when the ocean was glass.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, and as far as he could look in any direction, it was just clear, calm water. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a sunrise, a sunset on that type of environment. Mm-hmm. He just said it was breathtaking and something he'll never forget.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen something that you'll never forget, Chip?
I saw a kid fall off a motorcycle thing at Chuck E. Cheese when I was little. That was hilarious. I was about 7 and he was about 5, and he took a header, and it was hilarious. So I think that's right up there with being surrounded by the entire Pacific Ocean, seeing the sun set on complete glass. Same thing.
Yeah, I think thing I will never forget is I believe Michael Jackson had just passed away.
Okay.
And I was walking down either Sunset or Hollywood Boulevard, wherever Michael Jackson's star was at the time.
Yep.
And there was like a vigil going on for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a crazy woman, a woman who was fully on drugs, pick out a random couple and attack a man physically at this Michael Jackson memorial. I'll just never forget. She had a crazed look, and this guy was like, what the...
Did the couple beat it? That's what I want to know.
No, it was bad.
A real thriller.
A real thriller. But Chip, speaking of sunsets,
I'm gonna say this right now.
Uh-huh.
I love a good sunset. I'm also a sunrise guy, and I think this is a weird thing because we're East Coast people.
Uh-huh.
We got West Coast people. The sun, a little history lesson.
Yeah.
Little geography lesson. The sun sets in the west, it rises in the east. I like a good sunrise because then you're there. Mm-hmm. Comes up, and then you get the rest of the day ahead of you. That's the fun thing. You're first in line at breakfast. Everybody goes to see a sunset. You're kind of like, it's the cool thing. There's nobody there to see the sunrise. Now, who wants to wake up to go see a sunrise? This guy right here. He'll get up for sunrise. I love it.
Yeah, no, I get it, and I think that makes sense coming from the East Coast. I'm a nice sunset person,
and I love a good sunset too. Love a good sunset. It's just the it's because we have the bay, so it's like it's nice. You can watch it go over the bay.
Yeah,
beautiful, just gorgeous. Nothing like it.
I will say this: I do think that I think sunrises are a solo endeavor. Generally, you wake up early, you're doing it by yourself. Okay. Sunsets are a communal experience. You'll see it, dude.
Everybody's
when we're in Waikiki, it is almost on a day where it's not completely cloudy. It is almost like a religious ceremony, dude. Like you just head outside around sunset and you will see everybody on the island just there. There's like this little park kind of halfway between like the main hotel stretches.
Yeah.
And it is just full. Every single person stops what they're doing, hunkers down, and just experiences the sunset for like 15 minutes. It is truly breathtaking, but it's communal. And I also appreciate a sunrise.
That is a beautiful thing.
You woke up early. It's you versus the world. You know, it's like the only quiet time you get in your life before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
If you happen to be awake. And then you kind of take this thing on. It's inspiring in a different way.
Yeah.
It's you by yourself. Sunset can be you and a bunch of people.
It could also be you and a lady friend, the wife, whatever. You know, like a romantic situation. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So if you were in a sunset situation with a lady friend,
sure.
what's the worst thing you could say to mess that situation up? Like, you're in this beautiful, wonderful setting. What comes out of your mouth that just blows the whole thing to smithereens, Chip?
Maybe something like, it's like it's just about over. It's just the sun is down. It's down over the water. And you just say, there goes the sun. And here comes the tickle monster. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to hear that.
Oh, no. I think.
Okay, go ahead. How do you? What would you say?
What if it was something like, this is amazing, but do you know how special this would be if, like, I was in love with you?
Just the nicest way to. It's called sunsetting. I think is sunsetting a relationship. That's what you do. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of sunsetting, you could say something like this, like, wasn't that a beautiful sunset? Speaking of sunsets, we need to talk about your grandma.
That is a all too real conversation too many people have to have. But you got to get into it somehow, Chip.
Yeah. Yes, you do. It's just a nice little way. Yeah. Breaks the ice.
What about, like, just really calling a spade and, like, I understand that this is beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But are we really going to sit here and pretend like this isn't the main cause of global warming? If you think about it, Chip, it's true.
It is
like,
true.
Without the sun, there's no global warming. It's the main cause.
You make fun of that. My first date with my now wife was it was at the beginning of January many years ago. And it just in Philadelphia, it just happened to be a very warm, it's January, you're 0 degrees, it's cold. It just happened to be a very warm stretch. Like, every once in a while you get this, every couple of years. And there was like 3 days where it was like 50, 60 degrees out, right? Mm-hmm. And it was kind of rainy a little bit. It was like misty, rainy, but it was like 50, 60 degrees out in January. And I pick her up and I'm like, hey, isn't this cool? It's kind of warm. And she's like, yeah, the polar bears are all dying. And I was like, that was like our first date, like the first 5 minutes of our first date. And I was like, wow, she is not happy right now. This is not going to last. Flash forward almost 20 years, still going. And there's still a couple polar bears left.
There's still a couple, but a lot have perished.
What I might go with this, speaking of geography, okay, and biology, science. What if you said, so the sun's going down, and you're like, it's so beautiful, even though it's just an atmospheric refraction because the Earth is flat.
Now you're bringing hard science into a romantic situation.
Real science in there, yeah.
And ladies don't get science, Chip.
No, they don't understand that the world is flat and we're just on top of a stack of turtles that just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just NASA and the other people in the deep state that are telling us that we're a globe. No, thank you.
What about you're getting real intimate. You're up on a beautiful overlook. The sun's setting. All the colors in the world, and
all
you
there.
Just whisper to that special someone. Do you think Shia LaBeouf is looking at the same thing right now?
Just bringing Shia into it is it just kills the mood because you're thinking about him, not her.
And now she's thinking about him.
Hey, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
bringing other things into it. Like, maybe it's like, okay, maybe be something like, all right, it goes down. The sun's down. This is, of course, this it's still painted red and beautiful and everything, but the suns go down, and you just say, all right, we did your thing. Now let's go watch that Steely Dan documentary I wanted to.
A tit for tat.
Just ruin the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing that makes a romantic situation fade away faster than you wanting credit.
Yes. Yeah. I want to see how they made pretzel logic.
What about like just like somebody who is, it's like, okay, this has been nice, but let's get the hell out of here before I have to see one of those disgusting stars in the sky.
You are so appalled by the wonder of the cosmos.
Nature's beauty. Like, one time, a million comedians went out into the desert and may have done some recreational mushrooms.
Sure.
And one of the, we talked about things we'd never forget seeing earlier. I remember looking up at the night sky. We were in
Yeah.
like Joshua Tree out in the desert.
Yeah.
And all the stars in the sky had been concentrated to about like a circle this size.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and it's just like all that light coming in this very small space, like the kind of the ground grew up around it. And in the moment, I thought it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Of course. Of course. But it turns out you just fell into a snake hole.
Yes. Well, I mean, close enough. Like, I also had another experience that night where where I was just staring at this bush.
Yeah.
Like it was this bush in the desert, and I was locked in on this thing, Chip.
Of course.
I was vibing with it, and by the way, the whole world looked like sand art to me at this point. Like,
Sure.
it was just a beautiful tableau, and the bush turned its head, and I don't know how a bush has a head.
Sure.
And
of
says, looks directly at me and goes, "You okay, bro?" And it was my friend Matt, who was trying to go to the restroom. And I'm just standing there staring at this guy peeing with just like a blank expression, way too close. I swear to God, I had no idea it was a person. I literally was looking at a bush. And when this bush turned and looked at me and spoke,
It started talking.
the mushrooms had wiped away any ability I had to regulate my emotions or understand if I was safe or what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the most terrifying moments of my life.
Of
And
course.
it wasn't till later did I realize that like I was 2 feet away from my buddy whose privates were out, just staring at him with probably a slack jaw to the point where he was like, "You good, dude?"
Yeah, you good? You all right, bro? Amazing. That could be something you could say along those lines. You could say something like, well, I guess I timed it wrong because the ketamine's not going to kick in until the drive home. It doesn't warrant confidence. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. And I assume like it's worse if you're driving.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
What about like this is a creepier vibe, but like it's going to be completely black soon. And we're pretty far out. So no one will be able to hear or see us. Yeah,
just laying out the parameters of what's happening right now. It's just the two of us.
Yeah, that's a person that wants to see somebody realize what a desperate situation they're in.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's romantic at all, Chip. Maybe that's just me.
Or you could be more direct and say something like this, like, well, I hope you enjoy it because it's going to be your last one. Just really right down the barrel, let them know. Yeah.
I don't know.
What else? Or you could go a nicer route.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, oh, look at those colors. That's miraculous. Speaking of miraculous, would you like to purchase an amazing set of brand new Cutco knives?
ABC, always be closing.
Always be closing, multi-level marketing. Yeah.
What about this? It's now that the sun's down, I can be your vitamin D.
Yeah, that one's rough. That one is, that just ruins the mood. Yeah. Or like, you try to get romantic, but you're like, it's just not vibing. Like, so you say something like, "Wow, I've only taken 3 lessons, but this sunset calls for a song on the old saxophone. So here goes."
Speaking of have you ever been up close to somebody playing a saxophone?
Yeah, I have. I'll admit it.
It's the equivalent of 2 ambulance alarms.
It is a loud venture. There are a lot of pipes and holes and it's like a steampunk bird dying is basically what's happening.
I was second chair saxophone in the fifth grade band.
Look at you. I was about third chair trumpet in the fifth grade band.
Oh, that's a lot
one.
of tight lip work, Chip.
That's why I'm podcasting these days. Still got those tight lips.
I know.
Yep.
Oh, that's how you get the suppleness.
Yep.
What about this? Like, you can choose to watch or not, but I'm going to fulfill my dream right now of mooning the sun.
You're bringing in other bodies of the cosmos. I love it. And you're just, I'm mooning the sun. I am alphaving this situation right now. Who's going to moon the sun?
You?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's great. Or what if it's you're opening up one way. What if you open up the other way too much? Like, wow, there's orange and red everywhere. Which reminds me, did I ever tell you the time about how I had too many Cheetos and Hawaiian Punch? Takes all the romance out of it. Yeah.
So many children's snacks stain so well.
So bad.
Can you believe people used to worship this thing instead of Zorg, the true lizard god?
Yeah, you're just so oh yeah, that's the one. You're just like, this is dumb, but here's my new religious belief that I need to lay on you. Yeah. You could go or you could just go sad. You could just, like, the sun is going down and you just whisper in their ear, "Did you hear that Big Bird died today?"
A little childhood trauma. Bringing back a little childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Do you think when the sun's getting ready to perform, it has a set list, a sunset list, and there's only one track on it? It's going down.
You're just doing bits. Did you ever notice? Did you ever wonder?
And then you try and give her a nut tap. This is where it. There's some horsing around.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's great. What about this? Maybe you could. Okay. Just you're watching the sunset and it's just quiet, and then you just turn and say, "This sunset is brought to you by Blue Apron. Fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes delivered to your door."
That's micro advertising. That's micro influencing.
One person at a time.
How much do you think you get for that read?
Half a penny. Half a penny for that read.
A half penny.
A half penny. A hop penny.
I think they used to. Aren't there some Christmas carols that talk about half a penny?
Yeah, hot pennies. Yeah. It's like a half penny, a half penny. If you don't have a penny, a half penny will do.
And a Merry Christmas indeed it will be when you're counting half pennies.
Yeah, man.
That is tough.
Okay, what about this? Like, maybe it's just simple. Like, you're just like, the sun's down. It just goes down. It's basically over. It's just nice and quiet, and it's dark, right? So you haven't really been. Everybody's been focused up on the sky for the last 15, 20 minutes, and you just say, "Well, I guess it's time to put my pants back on."
Shh. Uranus is about to come out.
That's it. That's the one right there. That is.
Uranus has rings, Chip.
It does. It rotates the other way.
The rings of Uranus. Right, man. I don't know, buddy. Is there anything else you want to jump into?
Are we? I think we're gonna. Oh, I was gonna tell you about. Maybe we can save this. Maybe we can tease this for next time. I think we're almost out of time, right? Are we? I haven't been looking at the clock.
Yeah,
I've been watching the sun. I got some stories. I was thinking about summertime because it's like school's letting out pretty soon around here, and it's like I'm seeing more children around, and I got some pretty funny stories about that. Maybe we'll save that for next time.
All right, yeah, let's do it. So next time, episode 17 of the Sunburnt podcast.
NC-17, baby.
NC-17. We're gonna have child's. Don't mix NC-17 with a children's story, Chip.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
You shan't do it.
You shan't.
You can't do it.
No.
So we got that coming up, and we're just a couple of weeks away from Goose, Chip.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're less than a month out. You and I were going to see Goose. My buddy Heskey's coming. My buddies Brian and Chris from college are going. We're all going to meet together in Nueva York City. Going to see Goose. Have you listened to him at all? Have you jumped in on the Goose, the Gander yet?
I haven't yet. I'm going to have to do some serious education before we get there, though.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I will send you a couple of songs to check out. So, speaking of songs, everybody should check out the Sunburnt playlist. I think it's just called Sunburnt 2025 on Apple Music and Spotify. It's a working growing list of some just great summertime, chill, beach, tropical music that you just like, I had a rough day, I need the ride home, let me pop on the Sunburnt 2025 list.
We're always adding songs to it. If you have any ideas, just drop them in the comments. Yeah. We'll definitely take a listen and fire some on there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Thomas.
All right, man. Well, I got to get running, but dude, this has been a blast. Thank you for watching the Sunburnt podcast, where we talk about all things comedy and tropical travel. We're going to Hawaii in 174 days to do a comedy event. We would love for you to seriously think about coming with us.
Come hang out for the week. You do not even have to learn how to sail. You can get there by airplane.
You can get there by airplane, and we're going to have the time of the year. Yeah, so until next week, stay burnt.
Hello, front desk.
I hate to be a bother, but this is Thomas in room 316, and there are some ants in my room.
We can send somebody to clean those up real quickly.
They keep showing me pictures of when I was a kid. They're telling me stories about my mom I didn't ask about.
We'll call the police, sir.
Thank you very much.